All right, y'all. Welcome to Street Church. Congregation, come on in. And for first time visitors, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. I am going to be talking about the five suspects arrested for the six murdered victims in the Mohave Desert over a marijuana dispute, which is that's what's being reported. Um, okay, this is simple. This is simple criminal activity on both sides, right? Um, because most likely this was an illicit marijuana operation going on in California. And this was a situation of kill or be killed. And these five suspects felt like they need to get the drop first. It was kill on their part, and it was be killed on the part of the other six victims. I think a phone call from one of the people that was being already shot and dying made a call and said they were shot and probably gave the location of where they at and as much information as they could because I believe way out there, if it wasn't for the person still being alive, these five individuals who were arrested for the murders of these six individuals in the Mojave Desert, I don't think they would have ever got caught. You know, that's California is gang bang country. That's gang bang country there. They know how to slide in and slide out. They know how to roll on them and roll out. Come on, this is street church. We're gonna lay it all out here. Yeah, they know how to get down. It's in them from babies. They got little babies in there, 1 years old, crip walking, 2 years old, blood walking. Cartels is big influence there and a big presence in California. So this is what that was. So um what else do you got? The crazy part is though is man, one of them was hard body enough to to survive long enough to say they were shot. You know, God let him live to do one right thing by the people because I mean, selling marijuana comes with something. Even if you had a legal shop. See, this is what I say. All money ain't good money. This is what I was always taught when I was a street person. By the grace of God, I survived. Right? I lived through it. I got through it. I made it through it to the other side, to see God's light, to see His grace on my life, to see what God can do if I allow Him to use my life, right? Use me as a vessel of righteousness instead of letting my flesh use me as an instrument of unrighteousness and evil, right? Letting Satan have a hold of my desires and moving off of that. And now I try to move off of what the spirit, how the spirit wants me to move. But this type of life, it's like anything else. See, like sometimes people think, well, ain't nothing wrong with it because it ain't this or it ain't that, right? They compare it to something and they think it's okay. But even if you had a legal shop and you was selling weed and you was going by the laws of the land, you still putting yourself in a situation that marijuana has always been an illicit product. And people made money off this illicit product from the streets. And now it's been added to, marijuana, the substance, the use of this substance has been added to street culture, even rap culture, even in entertainment, right? It's been added to that culture. They got a TV show called Weed, right? That's how it's done, became a part of everyday life and a part of so many people's cultures, even subcultures. But anyway, there's always a criminal element, right? That comes with weed. And listen, product like this bring out robbers. It brings out competition, and some people will do anything to become a number one competitor. And to make this competitive and to make this their thing. Um, and this is what happened in the Mojave Desert when these guys were murdered and gunned down. Now, I'm quite sure some other components to it. It's some other, some other things that led up to it. Is situation was just probably an ongoing beef, and they just found them out there, lacking. Caught them loafing, checking out their marijuana, because I think where they were killed and gunned down at, there was marijuana. Right? So they probably was at one of their little spots where they grow their marijuana and was gunned down. But yeah, even if you had a shop, a legal shop, it would come with something. It would come with the risk of you being robbed or your store being broken into. You at war like they was, because they said it was a dispute. So it had to be over territory. Did they sell them some bunk weed? Maybe, right? Like at pounds, at high level, people ain't, what I'm saying, like you dime bag, you might let that go. Right? You get a bunk, you just say, oh, I ain't gonna buy from them no more. They got some bunk weed. But if you intentionally got somebody for some pounds, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, some people would find that cause to kill whoever done that to them if it was all bunk weed. Even if it was just a pound of bunk weed. Some people think that there's a principle to illicit drugs. Like there's principles. Street rules is what they call them. There ain't no street rules. People do whatever they gonna do when they live in that lifestyle, even when it's legal to do it. Right? Marijuana can be as legal as it wants to all day, but it was a street drug first. And street people were involved in producing and pushing weed. And so it's going to always come with these risks that are risks that you take on the streets selling weed. It's the same thing in the store. It will not change. You take the risk of being robbed. You take the risk of somebody else in competition with you that want to get you out the way. And this looks like this is what this was. This was a get them out the way situation. And just if the guy that was shot there dying had not been able to make that call and say he'd been shot, I don't think these 5 suspects would have been caught, arrested. And we don't even know if they'll be able to make it stick. They just been arrested. Another thing that I'm wondering, and y'all just drop a comment, do you think that they were illegal aliens? I saw them. All of them had, I want to say, Spanish or Latino names. They look like they belong in the cartel. I don't want to put that jacket on them, but they look like they belong to the cartel, somebody's cartel. And this is what this looks like. This looks like this was cartel against cartel. I don't know. Drop something in the comments though to tell me what you think. All right, I want to know. I want to know what you think. Yeah, but that's the case. If you're selling marijuana legally or illicitly, depending on your state and your city, you could be selling illicit marijuana that's not prohibited. That's not allowed. Let me just say that. That's not allowed to be sold in your state or your city. I don't know. If it's not, you selling illicit drugs, you taking even a bigger risk because it's going to be so-called street rules involved, so-called street competition, right? And that gives you risk. And even when you legally, you better understand that even though you might be a legal marijuana seller and user, that there's things that come with it because it's marijuana, because it's a product that can be sold on the street still. Somebody from the streets might want to either take you out or take your weed, or both, or both, right? So, just remember that, there's other ways to make money, and maybe you should consider choosing one of those other ways to make money, and rather than selling marijuana, because this is what happened to these 6 people in the Mohave Desert. They died were murdered, gunned down, and some burned over marijuana. So take heed. Anyway, this is Street Church. I'm finna let the congregation out. God bless.